Did you ever pray and ask God to do something that seemed absolutely impossible, but you asked him anyway? And then when he did it, you were so surprised you couldn't quite believe it? Didn't it make you feel silly? Well, move over. You're at the end of a long, long line. Christians down through the ages have underestimated God. They've thought, sure, I believe God answers prayer, but what I'm asking seems so impossible. Is he really up to it? There was a group of Christians in Jerusalem who prayed like that once. It was way back in the days of the early church, and their problem was a great one. They were praying for the Apostle Peter. They've got Peter. Who's got Peter? What do you mean? They've arrested him. Oh no, where? When? In the temple courts this morning. King Herod had him seized. He was taken to prison. The fortress of Antonia? Yes. Oh, but he'll be killed. They'll kill him the way they killed James. And there's nothing we can do. We can gather together and pray. It's the only thing we can do. It's the best thing we can do. And we have one thing in our favor. It's Passover week. They can't have an execution during Passover week. Oh, yes, that. But I was thinking, we have God. Yes, King Herod, and a rascal he was stirring up trouble for the Christians again. Somebody had to be made an example. And who better than Peter, one of the ringleaders of the lot? If he were executed, it would shut them all up for a while. But no executions were allowed during Passover week. So Peter had a stay of execution, you might say, but only for a week. And when the week was up, off with his head. Herod rubbed his hands together with satisfaction, but a group of Christians vowed to pray. They decided to meet at the home of Mary, the mother of young John Mark, and the word spread by the grapevine in hushed whispers from one Christian leader to another to meet at Mary's house. Mary prepared to make her home ready, and she called her servant girl Rhoda. Rhoda, drop your sewing for now and come help me. Some friends are coming here tonight. We're going to have a prayer meeting for Peter. Yes, ma'am. Oh, ma'am, they're going to kill Peter at the end of the week. We are going to ask God for Peter's life. Now, Rhoda, dry your eyes and blow your nose and come help me. We must believe God. I know. I'm very young, but could I sit on the side? I could pray in my heart. Of course you may, Rhoda. Now come, they'll be here before too long. And there began a most remarkable week of prayer meetings. O God, who made the heavens and the earth, we beseech thee. O Lord, you have given us a great commission, and you have promised to be with us. We know that you are all-powerful, but God, there is only a week. They were praying against great odds. What a prison Peter was locked up in. The fortress of Antonia, high on a rock cliff northeast of the temple, its high corner towers rising into the Jerusalem sky. Inside was a mixture of splendor and gloom. For there were apartments and courtyards and baths, yes, but there were also barracks for soldiers and cells for prisoners. For the fortress of Antonia was used both as a palace and a prison, and prisoners did not escape from there. It was unget-outable. Oh God, the days are flying by and the week will soon be up. We have been sending up a continual stream of prayer for Peter. Oh Lord, hear us, oh God. Oh Lord, we believe that you will do something. You must do something. Yes, the odds were great. Peter was being guarded carefully, 4 guards at a time, working in shifts around the clock, 16 guards in all. He was never alone for a minute. And so his friends prayed, and so the days flew by, and so the week was up. Oh God, the last night is come. It's only a matter of hours now. Lord, unless you do something, Peter will be executed in the morning. We beseech you, Father. And now it wasn't a matter of days, it was a matter of hours. And they prayed on, and those hours flew by. It was very late at night. In Peter's cell, it was quiet. There were 2 guards outside the door, and inside Peter was lying between 2 guards. He was chained with double chains. Now, if you were to size up Peter's situation in 2 words, they'd be unget-outable and insoluble. The prison was unget-outable, and the problem could not be solved. The only thing left for him to do was to lie there and sweat, staring into the dark gloom of the cell. But Peter wasn't sweating or staring. He was sound asleep. And so were the guards on either side of him. And that's the way they all were when it happened. Suddenly, the cell was ablaze with light, and there, standing by Peter, was an angel of the Lord. Peter felt someone tap him on the side. He stirred, woke, and then he saw the light, and then he saw the angel. Was he dreaming? Quick, get up. It was the angel speaking to him. Peter started up, and the double chains fell from his wrists. Put on your belt. Put on your sandals. It was the angel again. Peter obeyed in a daze. Now put on your coat and follow me. Peter did. Well, it did seem like a dream. They went out into the corridor and walked in silence, past the first guard post, past the second guard post, and then they finally got to the iron gate that led to the street, and it opened for them automatically. Like you step on an electronic device and open the door in a supermarket. It was incredible. Peter followed the angel down the street, still in a daze. The long week in prison must have made him mad. They went about a block, and then suddenly the angel vanished, just disappeared. Peter was alone, out on the dark street, safe. It hadn't been a dream, and he wasn't mad. The whole thing was true. It had actually happened. An angel had really rescued him. He started walking through the dark, deserted streets toward the house of Mark's mother, Mary. Inside Mary's house, the prayer meeting was still going on. God, we continue to beseech you for the life of Peter. Lord, his execution is but a few short hours away. What was that? It's someone knocking at the courtyard gate. At this hour? Who can it be at this hour? Rhoda, run out and see. Ask who it is first. And Rhoda flew out into the night and ran toward the gate. Who is it? It's Peter. Let me in. Peter? Peter? Oh! And Rhoda picked up her skirts and flew back toward the house. And burst in the door. It's Peter! Peter? Rhoda, you're out of your mind. No, it's Peter. I heard his voice. I recognized his voice. It's his ghost. They've killed him, and it's his ghost. It's his guardian angel. No, it is Peter. It is Peter himself. Well, what did you do? Why, nothing. I was so excited I forgot to open the gate. He's still out there. Well, they were all galvanized into action at once. They got stuck in the doorway getting out there to see. And when they opened the gate, it was Peter in the flesh. Peter, we couldn't believe it was you. Oh, Peter, come in. We've been praying. And we heard the knocking. We sent Rhoda out to see. Shh! Peter raised his hands to quiet them. And back in the house, he told them in whispers what had happened. And then he left while it was still dark. He had to go away for a while to hide. And off he went into the night to another place where he'd be safe. He left them there, limp as wet noodles, absolutely exhausted and completely astonished. and they probably called out after him in whispers, "We'll pray for you, Peter. We'll pray for you." Yes, we'll pray for you. Well, did you ever pray and ask God to do something that seemed absolutely impossible? And then when he did it, you were so surprised you couldn't believe it? Didn't it make you feel silly? You're at the end of a long line. These Christians probably felt pretty silly too.